There's just no reason to replace a roof if it's in good condition other than the state of the shingle being brittle, because a brittle roof is going to blow off in high winds. You're going to get more cracking of the shingle. So again, it's like this is the easiest way to explain it. It's like skin moisturizer for your shingles. We passed the same testing, flexibility testing. This was an Ohio State University study, handled the study. PRI testing labs, which is where all of the testing is done, or most of the testing is done for the major roofing manufacturers. And so we had the same testing that's done on brand new shingles, flexibility testing, and we sent in treated 17-year-old shingles. Okay. Now, the shingles we sent in that were 17 years old were sun-dried, and this specific shingle at 10, 12, 14 years would be past its expected life. It's a cheap builder's grade shingle called a 3-tab shingle. And we took that 17-year-old shingle, treated with Roof Maxx, and passed the same flexibility testing that shingle would have had to undergo 17 years prior.
Wow. So yeah, if you have an older roof, even a 17-year-old roof, this might be a solution. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, there's shingles that are 30-year products. We've treated 30-year-old shingles and saved those roofs. We've got a great video. It's Jonathan Caselli. We call it the apartment case study, where 22 buildings that had a lot of shingle blow-offs. They couldn't afford a roof replacement for all those buildings. At the time, it wasn't in the budget. They treated the roofs, and 5 years later, no problems.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's a little clip from Jonathan Caselli.
5 years ago was when we first started looking at the roofs as a general project. One of our roofers mentioned, hey, you should look into Roof Maxx because it's a product that is not invasive to tenants. It's a very quick application, and it actually extends the life of the roof and gives you a warranty. I believed in all the research, but I wanted to see it firsthand. So we decided to try it out on 10 buildings. I was skeptical at first with the existing condition of the roofs. We were having high winds and shingles were blowing off the roofs continually. But years later, after the application, the roofs look great, and we have no issues with any shingles blowing off the roof. Roof rejuvenation is a new idea in property management and building ownership. However, I do feel like it should be a standard. Their intent is to preserve the property and maintain it at a high level for a long period of time at a very fair price.
When we started down this process, we weren't expecting to see what we're seeing, and we don't guarantee that your roof won't blow off in high winds. We don't guarantee that it'll protect against hail, although we have a project, we have a few projects, one specifically where the garage roof was treated with Roof Maxx as a test, and the house roof was untreated, and a major storm came through, wiped out the house roof, and the garage roof was untouched. We weren't expecting those things. We've seen where roofs have stood up in hurricanes, where all the other roofs around it that were much newer were damaged, and in many cases, missing and plywood exposed and water coming in the home. So we still sell the product as a maintenance product. We don't want to make a bunch of huge claims. We've certainly seen a lot of success with it, but it's really just a maintenance product. You change the oil in your car, this is changing the oil on your roof. Shingles become brittle, make them pliable again. It helps the granules lock back in place. It doesn't stop degranulation, but it does slow it down dramatically. Makes that shingle be able to contract and expand. Alan, think about this. Your roof is 140 or 150 degrees, and you're down in Florida. So 140, 150 degrees in the summertime. Mm-hmm. And a thunderstorm blows through, which happens all the time in the summer, everywhere in the country. That roof will cool down to 60, 70 degrees in a matter of minutes. Thunderstorm passes, it goes back up to 140, 150 degrees. That's called thermal shock. That's beyond contraction and expansion. It's rapid contraction and expansion called thermal shock. And that's what's beating your roof. That's what's beating on your roof every day. Then you go to the extremes of winter and, in Ohio where we're out of, right? So that roof has to remain flexible, and a flexible roof is a strong roof, like a palm tree stands up to the wind, right?
Yeah.